Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. As always, we'll start with EVE Online. I've had an average week, I would say, in EVE Online. I did quite a few different things. I've been doing a little bit of trading in Jita. I'm of course keeping up with my PI production and my blueprint copy business, although I actually forgot to bring my BPCs on my Jita trip, so that was a bit of a mistake. On the other hand, when it comes to those contracts, especially when you're making 2-3 of them on a regular rotation, it can sometimes help to skip a week so that you give the rest of the market a chance to cool down a little bit, prices to go up, and then you come back with a double dose, but you actually manage to sometimes sell a few of them at a premium. So that works out from time to time, and so this was actually by accident, but we'll see next week if I can actually sell at a higher price. Next to that, I also did a little bit of exploration. I'm still loving the Stradios, to be honest. It's an incredible ship for exploration, and it is competing very heavily with the Ishtar for my favorite in high-tech exploration at this point. And I also took a quick trip to an invasion, a Triglavian invasion, in a mining ship to take a look at some of these closed conduits. And yeah, at this point I'm not sure if it's that interesting, especially if you calculate longer travel times in order to grab some of that new ore. I don't think it is, but if an invasion were to come in like right next door to Dital again, then I might actually do a little bit of that activity, you know, taking out some of the patrols in the praxis, trying to get some of that salvage, and then if conduits are nearby after they're closed, jump in a mining barge and grab some of that ore as well. So it does yield a lot of activity at this point already, but the real question is, what will these Triglavian invasions evolve into, of course, especially that big mothership that we've seen teased quite a little bit, that has been built in Abyssal Dead Space. I'm really curious to see how all of that is going to be implemented in the game, if it will be mobile or not. Is it just gonna be like an invasion where you need a massive fleet to take it out, or are there other aspects to these Triglavian invasions that could yield interesting results? Well, we'll have to wait and see, but for now we're still, I think, stuck in phase 1 where there are minor conduits. I also heard that some major conduits might start to pop up as well, but CCP is definitely slowly ramping up these Triglavian invasions. Well, as long as it gives them enough time to test everything, to make sure that they don't break the game by accident, I'm all for it, and let's see how it evolves in the upcoming days and weeks. And next to EVE, I've also been playing some Path of Exile with the latest expansion and the latest league coming out called Legion. I have been jumping back into that a little bit as well. I'm having a lot of fun and it's going surprisingly well, especially because for this league I decided on hardcore solo self-found. So if my character dies, he's gone, he goes to standard. All the loot that I've been gathering, that is something that I do keep, of course. And I start out with a Stormbrand character, which unfortunately died a little bit by accident in the mines. I got caught off guard, got swarmed a little bit by lots of spiders, and my Stormbrand just didn't do enough damage to clear them fast enough. He was gone. A little bit disappointed, but then I moved on to another Templar, Holy Flame Totem this time, and that is going really well. I've actually been recording quite a few of the boss fights where I think I'm mostly at risk of dying. Stuff like the Brine King, Solaris and Lunaris. Those are fights where on softcore I usually die at least once before then pushing through the boss by just going back, and he's at like 10% HP or something like that. That's usually the pattern. So what I've been doing is seriously over leveling the content, of course, focusing quite a little bit on my defenses, get as much HP as I can, make sure that my resistances are kept, and I must say Legion is also helping a lot in that regard. I personally feel like the bosses are slowed down significantly. They're much less chaotic. You can actually follow what's happening, you can avoid some of the really big attacks, and as a result I feel like they are easier. And spoiler warning, you will get a couple of weeks of videos on Path of Exile chronicling my journey through this hardcore solo self-found league so far, but I am in Act 9 and managing to get there on only the second character feels pretty damn good. It is of course the coward's way of playing Path of Exile. I am using using totems, so I can basically just plonk them down and then just run circles as far away from the boss as I can. But it has been quite a lot of fun so far. It's been quite effective, and honestly, I don't fear too much of the content in Act 9, Act 10, except for the very final fight, of course. Kitava in Act 10 is one that usually also, requires one death before I can actually take her out and move on to map. So we'll see if I can make it. I am planning to give it quite a bit of grinding as well, to make sure that I'm just basically pushing the max level that you can eke out of the content right before Kitava herself, and then we'll see if it works or not, if I can get into maps. And then I'm not sure what we'll do after that. At some point I will probably lose this Templar as well. Mistakes can be made at any time, and then interestingly enough, something has dropped for me, which is a 6-link bow, corrupted, but I think with pretty damn good stats. And so that is something that might just be an invitation from the Path of Exile gods to keep going even after I would lose this Holy Flame Totem Templar with a Ranger character, because there's a 6-link ready once a Ranger would reach level 50 for me. So that's actually pretty damn fun when it comes to Path of Exile in Hardcore League. The stuff that you're finding, of course, and that you're putting in your stash can actually help you on a next character. On the other hand, being now in Act 9, I must also say, trying to stay ahead and eke out as much as you can in XP out of all of the content means that it does start to feel pretty grindy, and I'm not exactly sure if I were to lose the Holy Flame Totem Templar, if I'd have the energy and the time to go for yet another character, because, well, E3 has been shown as well, and lots of interesting games to look forward to there as well. Cyberpunk 2077 does look like one that I'll probably jump in as well, and there's some other pretty interesting games. A Halo game that I remember I'm very fond of the original Halo. I played a hell of a lot of that as well, and so yeah, lots of stuff to look forward to. For now, of course, Path of Exile and EVE Online are my focus. And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.